Hi, I'm Jess Kronenberger. The novel from which I chose to read an excerpt is Charles Dickens' Bleak House, written in the early 1850s. This passage comes from the beginning of Chapter 3 and serves as the exposition for the novel. Through her narration, Esther Summerson, the protagonist, illustrates her transformation from a once hesitant child to a confident heroine. Here, Esther serves as the story's narrator, providing her account of her past. I have a great deal of difficulty in beginning to write my portion of these pages, for I know I am not clever. I always knew that. I can remember when I was a very little girl indeed, I used to say to my doll when we were alone together, "Now, Dolly, I am not clever, and you must know very well, so you must be patient with me like a dear." And so she used to sit propped up in her great armchair with her beautiful complexion and rosy lips staring at me, or not so much at me, I thought, as at nothing, while I busily stitched away and told her every one of my secrets. My dear old doll, I was such a shy little thing that I seldom dared to open my lips, and never dared to open my heart to anybody else. It almost makes me cry to think what a relief it used to be to me to come home from a school of a day and run upstairs to my room and say, "Oh, you dear faithful Dolly, I knew you would be waiting," while I sat on the floor leaning on the elbow of her great armchair and told her everything I had noticed since we parted. I always had a rather noticing way. Not a quick way, oh no. A silent way of noticing what had passed before me, and thinking I should like to understand it better. I am not by any means of quick understanding. When I love a person very tenderly indeed, it seems to brighten. But even that may be my vanity. I was brought up from my earliest remembrance like some of the princesses in the fairy stories. Only I was not charming by my godmother. At least I only knew her as such. She was a good woman. She went to church 3 times every Sunday, and to morning prayers on Wednesdays and Fridays, and to lectures whenever there were lectures, and never missed. She was handsome, and had she ever smiled, I used to think, would look like an angel, only she never smiled. She was always grave and strict. She was so very good herself, I thought, that the badness of other people made her frown all her life. I felt so different from her. Even making every allowance for the differences between a child and an adult, I felt so poor, so trifling, so far off that I can never go unrestrained with her. No, I can never even love her as I wished. It made me very sorry to consider how good she was, and how unworthy of her I was, and I used ardently to hope that I might have a better heart. And I talked it over very often with my dear old doll. But I never loved my godmother as I ought to have loved her, and felt I must have loved her if I had been a better girl. This made me, dare I say, more timid and retiring than I naturally was, and cast me upon Dolly as the only friend with whom I felt at ease. But something happened to me when I was still quite a little thing that helped it very much.